All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting off Group C on Ackland Wastes with this player down the bottom right-hand corner. From 440 Gaming, we have your yellow Protoss.
House of Renegade, 440 Gaming, Cold Flame.
And his opponent in the top left, same race. And of course, we saw a lot of exciting action out of this guy. I'm pretty sure he's, if I remember correctly, a pretty unstandard player. But of course, let's get right into the player introduction. Trying to get into the quarterfinals of this year tournament. It is your blue Protoss player.
House of Renegades, Doohickey.
And to get right into it, we do have a Warp Gate on the way for both of these players, a little sooner for Doohickey. And Doohickey's going to go ahead and push out here with a Zealot and a Probe, as well as a Stalker.
Doohickey's going for a
2 gates behind this. Yeah, he's going to go for a 3-gate. Fairly certain he does this, or he did this last time. He's going to get scouted instantly by this Stalker, but a Zealot and a Stalker beat one Stalker. Of course, the Mothership Core going to be able to support here a little bit, and Doohickey's is back at home, but we'll see what sort of micro action Cold Flame can get done here. There goes the pylon as the probe is finally taken care of, so let's see how this transpires.
Yeah, that's of course going to be the most proximal pylon that Doohickey is able to get to Cold Flame's base. Cold Flame focusing down that probe. A really nice decision there. He's also going to be able to chase away this Stalker and threaten the pylon, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that much to it. A Warp in of Stalkers finishes Doohickey as well, so he can really start to apply the pressure. Cold Flame does, of course, have that Mothership Core. It's got enough energy for a floating overcharge in like 2 seconds, so there shouldn't be too much trouble for Cold Flame in holding off at least this first wave, and from then onwards, he should be ready to hold off all the rest.
He loses the Stalker. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal at this early stage in the game. Both players seem to be letting their minerals climb a bit high, but of course, Stalkers cost gas, and what else are you going to spin it on? You need it. You need Stalkers in this sort of situation. I would expect to see Cold Flame trying to expand after this. Doohickey is looking a little all in. He's got 6 Stalkers here, and he's kiting back against these probes. Cold Flame is going to go ahead and pull the probes. I don't know if I agree with Doohickey's decision to go this all in at this point in the game.
Yeah, I know. I don't see why Cold Flame is pulling the probes, especially. I think he's fine. He's held this, basically. He's got 4 gates up now. He defended without losing any probes, or until he pulled them, and then he pulled the probes. And I think he just wants to try and trap Doohickey Stalkers up there with the Photon Overcharge, with the Stalker, with the Mothership Core, and win that way. But either way, he's still ahead in workers. Like, don't get me wrong, he's still in a great position. It's just a little bit of an odd decision. And getting his robo facility up, he's got 4 gates, so he's obviously going to be reinforcing that a little bit faster. And Doohickey moving up the ramp. Nice force field is going to trap a few of these Stalkers up here, and all of the Zealots, of course. But it's actually going to expire, I think, in just a second. The rest of the Stalkers are going to come. But
yeah, the Stalkers had to deal with the Zealots early on, but of course the Stalker numbers plus the Sentry more warp-ins in defensive favor, and Doohickey's going to have to pull back on this, and he's not expanding at home. He does have a bank of 500 minerals, but he's just going to keep making Stalkers here and try and push the advantage, what little one he has, but now he's out of 4 Stalkers against 6 and a Mothership Core, or rather 5 and a Mothership Core, so, he's going to have to go home. He's going to have to review essentially what his game plan is here, because that's not going to work for him. So, where does he go from here?
It's difficult to find so much go. He doesn't have a tech advantage. He doesn't have as many warp gates as Cold Flame does. And Cold Flame's really dictating the pace of this game right now. And Doohickey needs to make a decision of where he wants to go. Adding on another gateway, I kind of don't think it's the right direction. I mean, you're getting direction at all. The robotic facility will help a bit, though. He'll be able to add on Immortals. Cold Flame is going for Observers before Immortals, which I guess is maybe a slightly safer option, because Cold Flame wants to know what Doohickey's doing. If Doohickey was taking up towards a Twilight Council, you obviously don't want to have Immortals against DTs, unless they're supported by an Observer. So, yeah, I kind of like where Cold Flame's going, but Doohickey is definitely behind. He needs to find some kind of edge to bring himself back into this.
Yeah, I think the way back in the game for Doohickey might have been to have taken his natural as soon as he decided not to continue with the push anymore. He's gone home and he's still going to try and one-base it. Maybe he knows that the counter push from Cold Flame is coming, but he's basically had close to 400 minerals saved up the entire time he's been here anyway, because he doesn't have the gas to spend what he wants to spend on. So the Observer comes in from Cold Flame. It sees the army. It's going to snipe a Zealot here for free, and he's probably, feels pretty confident, and he has the vision now The force field does go down, but almost a Stalker losing its life there. A lot of hull damage, and a Void Ray on the way for Cold Flame is going to be the response, as well as an Immortal. 4 Zealots and an Immortal on the way for Doohickey. So now he's against the ropes. He was trying to put a lot of early pressure on from the beginning. And back home, Cold Flame making a right decision, I think, and he's going to go ahead and expand and just pull back and consolidate and see where he can take this advantage.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to break Doohickey's main anytime soon. Of course, the defender's advantage in PvP really comes with the power units, with those Immortals. And Doohickey has an Immortal, and Cold Flame, whilst he does have one, it's just sort of arriving at his natural. So Doohickey pushing out now, if Cold Flame had still been there, he would have been facing a force with an Immortal in it. And that's a scary force.
Right.
Any time in the game, really.
Yeah.
Especially when your force is mainly made up of Stalkers. And Doohickey's going to be able to take his own expansion now. And Cold Flame's is a fair bit ahead, but they've evened up a bit. I feel Cold Flame could have maybe stayed down the bottom ramp and tried to set up a concave and contain Doohickey a bit more. Maybe a couple of sentries.
Yeah, I agree.
Sentries are fantastic for containing players. You just force field.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think he had a really good advantage there, and he could have stayed at the natural because he had an army composition that would have worked for him when the Void Ray popped out. And so even though the Immortal, of course, was going to be there quicker because the Robo is, of course, closer to Doohickey's natural than Cold Flame's, all the way over there on the other side of the map. So it would have taken some time to get there, but he could have, poked and prodded, tried to shoo away that army and really halted him from taking the natural. And you know what? Regardless of the fact, he's got 6 Stalkers, 2 Zealots, 2 Immortals, a Sentry, an Observer, and 2 Void Rays on the way here versus Doohickey's force, which is comparable, but I think what the big deal is the 2 Void Rays here versus 5 Stalkers. When you have a higher Stalker count and Void Rays, it means you're going to be able to eliminate the enemy Stalkers really quickly, and then nothing is going to shoot up. So we're going to see what this engagement is. He's engaging at the top of a ramp. How do you see this going down, though?
Cold Flame's focusing down the Immortals, which is an excellent choice,
Really
I
good
think.
decision,
The Void
yeah.
Rays kill them so quickly because they've got a pretty high damage count and their tick rate is so low, firing every 0.5 seconds, that the hardened shields doesn't really affect them too much.
Yeah.
But Cold Flame does actually back off. He's a little scared of Doohickey's forces, and I think he's just playing carefully.
Yeah.
He's going to wait for his proxy pile, and so he can actually reinforce this. A few rounds of war pins, and maybe he wants to break it. But Doohickey is doing sort of the first thing, I think, this game so far where he isn't playing catch up to his opponent for a while anyway, and starting a Twilight Council and upgrade. So if he can survive to let these upgrades bear fruition, they could do something for him pretty nicely. Like Immortals get so much damage; they get like +5 damage against armored per upgrade, so they're going to be doing tons more damage to the Stalkers. I think they go from 4-shotting them to 3-shotting them or something.
Right.
There's some kind of upgrade advantage. It's really quite powerful. Yeah. And Cold Flame obviously won't have that, but he has the Stargate, he has those Void Rays. 3 now are going to take down the Immortals and the Stalkers really, really quickly. And Cold Flame is adding on Sentries, he's adding on a lot of Zealots to this force, which will be excellent against the Immortals and forcing the Stalkers to kite back. And he's going to start moving up the ramp. Guardian Shield goes up. He's going to force field anything off. Nice Photon Overcharge is going to help out in this engagement, but the Immortals are going to fall almost immediately under the same fire of 3 Void Rays. Very good target fire from Cold Flame. 1 Void Ray does go down, but another one comes in to join the fight, and Cold Flame is crushing through Doohickey's forces. GG.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are on Overgrowth for the second game of this PvP match to start off the night. For you, of course, it is round of 16 Challenger Group C action, the third group of the tournament so far in round of 16. We're going to get right into the player introduction. Spotting in the bottom left-hand corner of Overgrowth, it is your blue Protoss player.
House of 440 Gaming, Cold Flame. House of Renegades, Doohickey.
And his opponent spawning on the opposite side of the map. Up 1-0 in this best of 3 and looking to win this one to advance onwards to our winners match. It is a yellow Protoss.
.440 Gaming, Cold Flame.
Yeah, so the first series, or the first game rather, not really too much craziness going on aside from essentially what was a hold from a 3-gate push.
Yeah.
But Doohickey is sending a probe up here, and he's probably going to hide some tech. It's not necessarily generally the way you tell if it's going to be like a warp end pylon or a tech pylon is how close it is, of course, to the natural, or how close it is to where you're attacking, and then of course like how visible it's going to be. So the top left-hand corner, not necessarily the most efficient at attacking with. So he's going to be hiding some tech up there. He does have a Twilight Council going down, so I'm assuming it's going to be a Dark Shrine, and we're going to see some DTs on the way.
Yeah, probably. That can up left can be okay position to hide Stargates as well, but he won't have enough gas for that going for the Twilight Council as well. Oh, did he just cancel that, or did it complete?
No, it completed.
No, it completed. Okay.
And
wasn't
DTs.
paying enough attention to the progress bar. And yeah, it is DTs. Not too surprising seeing the Twilight Council and hiding that DT. What do you think about hiding the DT shrine but showing the Twilight Council? So
what's the proper idea? Oh my god, there's going to be blink. But if you're a smart player and you're at this level of the game, you're going to look around, you're going to notice, a little things here. Maybe his build isn't as quick as it needs to be. You're going to check the gases. You're going to notice how much gas is taken if you get the scout. So what it eventually comes down to is, maybe he doesn't even see the Twilight Council, So has he seen it? Let me see if
he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, he's not even seen anything. So if anything, Doohickey, if he can make it work, is already at a bit of an advantage because he's hidden his tech. But we do have a Stargate on the way, and I'm assuming that means it's going to be an Oracle. So kind of a lucky counter build, I guess.
Yeah, and that Oracle can do a lot of damage to Doohickey's mineral liner that gets in there, and it can also detect the DTs.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that there's 3 Stalkers moving out Cold Flame's ramp, or they will be when that force field expires, and he doesn't really have an answer. He can sort of turtle in his base with Photon Overcharge. Although the Dark Shrine's finished, and he's going to start warping in DTs. Is he going to warp in defensively?
He needs
one
to
being
warp.
warped in. It's one across the map.
I really hope he just keeps him out offensively, and okay, Photon Overcharge goes out. He is going to lose that pylon, and it's going to depower those 2 gateways, but I hope he's done the right thing here by not showing his tech, right? He's not showing that he has DTs, so Cold Flame doesn't know what's coming, and this is going to get, this DT is making its way into the main. Let's go check out Cold Flame's main. So the DT is getting a bunch of kills here. There is an Oracle, of course, coming in. It's going to detect, and the Stalkers are going to be matched up. So now Doohickey knows there's an Oracle, and back home in his defense against Cold Flame, we're going to be able to see him really get what should be the proper response to that. But of course, he's got an Immortal on here and another defensive DT to get rid of these Stalkers. And now, he needs Stalkers to defend against the Oracle, because the Oracle, as fast as it is, can make its way across the map if he's feeling adventurous.
Yeah, but it will be a bit of a risk because if he sends that Oracle across the map, he won't have the detection. Of course, Envision is going to run out pretty soon anyway.
Oh, are we seeing your favorite unit in the game?
What's my favorite unit?
A Phoenix in PvP.
Oh, Phoenixes.
Right?
I do like Phoenixes.
Right
Phoenixes
on.
and PvP interesting as well. I like Phoenixes in every matchup, but probably most in PvT than PvP.
Yeah.
The one Phoenix is interesting because I think this is just going to be like a scouting Phoenix. Maybe Cold Flame was going to build more, but then he saw the DTs. Oh, is one Phoenix going to scout the Mothership Core?
Oh my god,
he's morphing in an Archon. He's morphing in an Archon. I think he'll save it with the Archon. How many hits does Archon take to kill a Phoenix? He might actually not be able to kill it in time.
Really quickly. It's like a 3-shot. Because the shields are down in 2 shots. So, but still, that's a pretty nifty move there. Here's the thing: you expect to hallucinate a Phoenix, right? So when you see the Phoenix go in and it starts attacking your Mothership Core, oh, he's just scouting with a hallucinated Phoenix. Oh wait, there's half health on my Mothership Core, and you might lose it. That's a pretty nifty move from Cold Flame there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It means that Doohickey needs to be pretty much continually protecting his Mothership Core before that Phoenix runs in and just snipes it. And it also forced Doohickey to morph an Archon out of those TDTs, which maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he wanted to sort of keep the threat of those hidden units, the cloaked units, away from Cold Flame, force him to always have detection in his army and force him to retreat anytime his observer is killed. But Archons are pretty good as well. I think he would have warped them into Archon eventually, and the Oracle and the Phoenix are both coming in at once. Phoenix is going to try and get that Mother's Recall, but there's Stalkers out now. I think the increase in mobility is going to really sort of stop Coldflame from doing that much. That Oracle is going to be a constant threat, though.
Yeah, and it's a good point. The DTs are really only a threat for the beginning part of that attack if your opponent's not suspecting it. Now Coldflame's got a Forge. He has cannons coming up, so or that's doohickeys. Do we have any cannons? No, we don't have any cannons actually for Coldflame. But like I said, anyway, at least the initial threat of the DTs is kind of minimized because you know what to expect. But the Oracle, in order to defend that, you either need to go ahead and get some cannons out there in really key positions because of how fast they are. They can continue to dance around. So it's going to remain a threat for a longer part of the game than the DTs would be. We do see a Twilight, or rather a Templar Archives going down for doohickey, so I guess he's going to go into some High Templar play.
Yeah, it looks like Coldflame's Oracle is actually coming to the natural and got
That's exactly what we're talking
kills,
about.
But isn't going to pick up fourth. It gets away without losing any kind of shields. Oh, a little bit brave there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's still alive and it's still going to run around. It's still going to be very annoying. And doohickey's either going to have to build a cannon in his natural, which is another sort of bit of resources he didn't really want. It interrupts his mining, or he's just going to have to leave Stalkers. And the cannon, I think, is the better option there.
Okay, so we are going to see Robo versus Templar Archives. Essentially, is what the build order is looking like these days. We're going to get a Charge Lot Templar Archive build out of or Templar High Templar build out of doohickey. So the blue Protoss on the bottom left, and we are going to see a Robotics Bay going down 30 seconds away from finishing for Coldflame. So it's going to be Colossus versus Charge Lot, I guess, High Templar Archon.
Yeah, I feel like the Colossi win that one. Like, Colossi are best on Zealots because they're kind of the relatively lower health units of Protoss, and then you can kite against the Archons really well as well. Colossi are surprisingly good on Archons. It's kind of interesting. I think that if Coldflame can get a good army up, then doohickey he'll just melt if all he has is Zealot and High Templar and Archons. You don't want to be storming Colossi. They don't die very quickly.
No, you're right about that. One thing to be fair, it is +2 attack on the way for doohickey if it finishes before. His Storm needs to finish before this engagement comes because that's going to be a big part of his gases in High Templars that right now are not going to be able to do anything. Void Rays, it's basically the same army we saw Coldflame in the first game with, and he's got a +10 supply right now. And you know what? This is a lot of army, and doohickey does not have the units to defend this. The Void Ray is going to start going to work on the Archon. Zealots get right on top of it. It's gone in 3 seconds. Stalkers are going to die almost instantly. The Oracle is coming in. Photon Overcharge is deployed, but is it going to be way too little too late because 3 Immortals, 5 Stalkers, and a Void Ray are starting to tear Coldflame, or rather doohickey, apart. He is going to back away. And is that going to give doohickey enough time to get back in this game?
I don't know. I don't think so. Coldflame's still got a scarier army, I think.
Look at the supply, though. 68 to 70. He's almost tied it up, and the Void Ray being gone is a huge benefit. Oh, taking this third, though. He's going to have to defend the third. He's going to cancel it for sure.
No, that's definitely going to be cancelled. There's too much DPS coming out from those Immortals.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you might be right. I think doohickey does defend for now. Of course, Storm's going to be finished, so if he can get out a few more Templar, then they'll have Storm when they get energy for it, which will help certainly in chipping away the shields from those Immortals. They won't have the benefit of their hardened shields nearly so much when 80 shields are missing. But Coldflame's getting a big swell of gateways up. He's got Colossi on the way. He's got Thermal Lance. And when that finishes, he can feel much more comfortable sort of sitting a distance away and letting the siege range of the Colossi slowly chip away at doohickey's forces and forcing engagements, kiting back whenever doohickey tries to commit coup. But +3 weapons as well on the way for doohickey, and no upgrades for Coldflame.
Yeah, doohickey going right into +3. He's hoping to hold on for dear life until that comes into play. He is morphing into Archon. He's got an Immortal on the way and 2 Zealots as well as Blink. He is adding an extra gate down, but 2 Colossus on the way and some, we're getting Charge as well. And now finally +1 comes into play for Coldflame, but +3 is going to finish by the time that is. And of course, upgrades are exponential, ladies and gentlemen. It just doesn't mean it's 3 take away 1, so now it's just 2 to 0 advantage. It gets exponential. We do have gravitic boosters, movement speed of observers. I guess he really wants to know what's going on with the army of doohickey. So that's a bit of an interesting upgrade there. I don't think I see that come into play too often, but of course you can never have too much scouting in this game.
Yeah, absolutely not. Taking some cues from Pig Baby, maybe. And why wouldn't you? He did win WCS America, but
Yeah.
he's definitively moving towards this third. He got it cancelled once, but he's made another move to try and take it. Cold Flame has made no such play. And if Doohickey can defend this third, he'll be in a really great position.
Yeah.
Does he know about the Colossi at all? I don't think he's seen a Colossus. I don't think he's seen any had any scouting of the robotic space. So if these Colossi hit him as a surprise here, if he's not prepared, I feel like they're gonna melt away the Zealots a bit with their AoE damage, and the Templar won't really do that much against them. He definitely knows now.
Yeah, incoming the 3 Colossi, and a bunch of charge lots that are going to be the meat shield for this army. The Archons are getting surrounded instantly. The Storms do go down, but is it enough? I don't really know if it is. The Zealots are trading really well. That +2 attack benefit is coming in strong for Doohickey, and you know what? He's going to actually be able to push this back, at least for now. The 3 Immortals putting out so much DPS. That Archon, worth its weight in gold, is down. Actually, it dies to the Void Ray. You don't see that every day, but the Stalkers in the back and the Immortals putting out so much DPS, and Doohickey is coming out on top in supply, at least. And you know what? Now Cold Flame's taking a third, so I don't know if Doohickey is going to be able to, maintain this supply lead for as long as he can, but for now he holds.
Yeah, he holds for now. The Immortals doing a ton of work on those Colossi, really zoning them out, despite their lower range. But you're right, Doohickey holds this third base. Cold Flame's only just finishing his up, and Doohickey's already got his assimilators down, and gas is, of course, a huge limiting factor, especially going for the Archon heavy play. Doohickey's actually used a few more gateways. He's got a ton of bank minerals. Like, imagine if he had, 18 more Zealots.
This DT,
Where?
in the third of a Cold Flame, it's going to be able to do what it wants for a while, and it's going to take the entire army of Cold Flame back. We do have, interestingly enough, +1 shields as opposed to armor coming in for Doohickey. I don't think you see that often. He's going to throw down a robotics bay of his own and look to get out his own Colossi force here. So are we going to see Colossi versus Colossi? And, Doohickey threw down, or Cold Flame rather, threw down his own Templar archives. So both of these players are seemingly content to get the same type of army composition, and it seems macro up. But Cold Flame here pushing the advantage, I would think, a lot more than Doohickey.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doohickey has his +3 weapons now, which is nice, but Cold Flame's on +1, and Colossi scale so well with that attack upgrade. They get +2 per attack upgrade.
Yeah.
And so that's effectively +4 damage per attack upgrade, so they're going to absolutely tear through everything. The Archons get they get about +3. They get +1 versus normally, and plus, I don't know, they get some decent stuff. But they're much shorter range and not nearly as AoE as the Colossi, so they're going to be, that +1 advantage on the Colossi is going to be really big. Cold Flame's looking for an engagement again. The High Templar sort of scouting ahead where the storm's going to go down. Coming in, Doohickey's Zealots are all running in. The Colossi are trying to focus down the units in the back of it. This time it's going a different way. Cold Flame is actually sort of tearing through Doohickey's army. The power units are trying to get on top of the Colossi, but Cold Flame is microing them back really nicely. One of them does go down, but another warping of Zealots from Cold Flame, is it going to be enough? And it does drive Cold Flame back for a little bit, but he's just kiting his Colossi back. Those Zealots just melt, like 2 Colossi volley, and they're done.
Yeah, that was a really interesting engagement. I think, of course, as we all saw, Cold Flame definitely getting the better of that, and it's going to go ahead and take a gold expansion at its home. I'd like to see some more DTs come in and try and pressure and try and relieve some of the pressure from our blue Protoss player here, because he needs something to buy him time. He's trying to tech switch into the same army composition that his opponent has, and his opponent is ahead in every sense of the word. He is getting his 4th up sooner, but the 4th up, which is going up on the gold as opposed to the bottom right here at just a regular mineral line, which is not even being saturated right now, Cold Flame's economy is ahead. So, upgrades, you're ahead in, but, another engagement going down. Charge lots coming into charge lots. Archons, 3 of them. That Colossi is going to go down to the 2. The 2 Colossi in the back have not even taken any damage. Now Doohickey's Archons get in the battle, and are they going to be able to do enough DPS here? It seems it's just one of them left. It's just one Archon versus his entire army, and that's not enough. You're going to have to warp in Zealots. It's the equivalent of warping in Lings at the end of a Tier 3 unit engagement, and it is just going not the way of Doohickey at the moment in time.
Yeah, absolutely not. Coldflame really, really nicely focusing his opponent's Colossus down, and he smashed through that engagement, finally getting the one he wanted. Zealots in Doohickeys mineral line, his third. The Colossi focusing down the Nexus. He's going to take this next down. DT's come in, but there's detection here for Coldflame. They're not going to do anything at all.
Right, yeah.
That one High Templar currently surviving, but yeah, Coldflame's going to sort that out right quick. Hey, lads.
Yeah, and incoming two Colossi to try and defend it, but 2 Colossi versus 4 Colossi, too little too late, my friend. Doohickey on the back foot, and you know what? Charge lots get right in on top of these Colossi. One goes down almost instantaneously, and the second one not far from leaving this earth as well. The Colossi in the back foot, not so much with their big-ass fucking lasers, and that's GG called, and Cold Flame taking it 2 games.